Now, the charge against Sergeant Goss is of malicious prosecution, and that is the reason why the case is being heard in Fulchester today rather than Toxton, so that local feelings cannot prejudice the course of justice. Now, it is not disputed by the defence in this case that Benjamin Easter, the plaintiff, was arrested by Sergeant Goss, the defendant, on a charge of assaulting a police officer in the course of his duty. Benjamin Easter appeared in this court 5 weeks later and was acquitted of this charge. Now, all this is not and cannot be disputed by the defence. What are disputed are the circumstances that led up to the alleged assault and the motives of the defendant in bringing the subsequent prosecution. I call Benjamin Easter, my lord.
What is your religion?
Church of England.
Take the testament in your right hand and read aloud the words on this card.
I swear by Almighty God that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
You're Benjamin Easter of 20 The Glade, Grattan, St. Peter's.
Yeah.
And you're the plaintiff in this case.
Hey?
Are you?
What?
Are you the plaintiff in this case?
Yeah.
You're known by your friends as Benny.
Yeah.
Benny Easter.
That's right.
Now, what is your profession, Mr. Easter?
Mechanic.
And your hobby?
Hobby?
What is your principal interest?
Motorbikes.
How many motorbikes do you own?
5 and some bits.
What do you mean, and some bits?
Well, spare parts, engines, bits.
Now, these 5 motorcycles, they're not all ordinary motorcycles, are they?
None of them are.
Are any of them racing motorcycles?
Well, dirt track, cinder track racing, scrambling. There's one road racing machine, and there's the one I go to work on.
Good. Now, the Glade at Grattan St. Peter's, this is the name of the council estate at the southern end of the village, and this is where you live.
That's right.
And there's a group of you who have a common interest in motorbikes, and you form something of a club on the estate.
Yeah.
Now, Mr. Easter, would you give the court a brief outline of the nature and the activities of this club?
Ah, well, an outline. Well, it's called the ThunderBolts. That's just the name, like. And you get asked to it. You have to have a bike over 500 cc's.
Would you clarify that point, please, Mr. Easter?
Sorry?
Without the chewing gum.
Oh.
Now then, what is the special significance of 500cc?
What's the significance?
That's what I'm trying to ascertain.
No significance.
Well, what is the normal number of cc for a motorbicycle?
There's no normal number. They come in all sizes.
Is 500cc a large motorbicycle, a particularly fast motorbicycle?
No.
Do you have such a motorbicycle?
Yeah.
Well, what is the top speed of your motorbicycle?
123.
Miles per hour?
Yeah.
Yes, go on.
You haven't ever done that speed, Mr. Easter?
Oh, not on the road. No, ma'am.
Good. Now, Mr. Easter, you were telling us about your club, the ThunderBolts. Are all the members of the club from the estate?
Yeah, they are.
And is this one of the conditions of membership?
No, it's just how it turns out.
Now, would you tell us about the activities of the club?
Certainly. We go out on the bikes, repair them, tune them, take them apart, put them together again, ride them about, and we go racing, go scrambling. Have practices.
Yes?
Yeah.
What is scrambling?
We'll go scrambling meetings. Oh, it's rough racing over open country. How do you describe it?
Well, rather like point to point, only on motorcycles.
Or there's no jumps. It's a course. You race around the course, only instead of it being flat, it's rough. Rough is aching fine. You know, up hills, over the grass. Maybe you've got a riverbed, you know? You might find yourself flying through the air some of the time. Downhill about 1 in 3.
And you're racing?
Yeah.
But it must be quite dangerous.
Oh, can be.
But it's your hobby.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned you have other races. Can you tell us about those?
Where's dirt track, cinder track, all sorts.
And you enter for these as well?
Yeah.
My lord, is all this detail necessary or relevant?
Miss Tate?
I'd hope my learned friend would bear with me, my lord. I'm trying to establish that Mr. Easter is a motorcycle enthusiast, and his activities, which will be described in the court today, are very typical of such an enthusiast.
Is this at issue?
Not in the slightest, my lord.
I think we can agree that you've established your point, Miss Tate.
My lord. Mr. Easter, let us now turn to your relationship with the defendant up to the time of your arrest. The arrest to which I refer is, of course, Mr. Easter's arrest by Sergeant Goss on a charge of assaulting a police officer in the course of his duty. Mr. Easter, when did you first come to know Sergeant Goss? That is to say, to recognize him apart from any other police officer.
First, I always recognised him.
But did Sergeant Goss at any time start to show a special interest in your club, or in you in particular, interest beyond that shown by the police in general?
What do you mean interest?
Did he at any time appear to be picking on you?
Oh, yeah.
When was this?
You started picking on us? Well, for the gang, like, it was about 2 years ago or more. He became like our local copper. I mean, he was the one who came round if anyone did. Or if there's a car with more than one in it, he'd be there somewhere.
So for about 2 years, your group started to identify Sergeant Goss as the policeman who was interested in your group.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, when did Sergeant Goss start to take an interest in you personally?
Me?
Well, you as opposed to the rest of the group.
About 8 weeks ago.
8 weeks before the arrest. Now, were you doing anything at that time that could have attracted his animosity? Made him dislike you personally?
Well, we knocking around with his daughter. He didn't like it.
What do you mean, knocking around?
I went going out with her.
She was your girlfriend?
Yeah.
How long had she been your girlfriend?
Knocking on 3 months.
And was Sergeant Goss unhappy about this association?
Yes, kindly rephrase the question, Mr.
Did Sergeant Goss ever appear to be unhappy about your association with his daughter?
Definitely.
Now, can you tell the court of any incident in which you felt that Sergeant Goss was picking on you personally? I mean, you individually, as opposed to any other member of your group.
Well, coming back from work, but one thing, I never take my papers when I go to work.
No, why not?
Well, I'm in my overalls. They get all messed up and crumpled. I just not take them normally.
Yes, go on.
Well, these 3 nights coming back from work, 3 nights running, there was a police car and Mr. Goss in it on the road there waiting for me. The first night they stopped me.
Name?
Mr. Goss got out the car and stopped me. The old routine, check the bike, check the papers. Of course, I hadn't got the papers, so he gave me a ticket. Next night, there they are again, just waiting.
And what happened?
Well, they follow me right up the village. Well, I go along the Brampton Road, that's the main road, and I turn off at East Allington, turn left at Coles Cross, and I come down through Woodford to the village.
And they followed you all this way?
Yeah.
But they didn't follow you into the village?
Yeah.
Now, did they or didn't they?
I didn't.
Very well. Now, after the 3 nights, did they stop following you?
I went a different way.
To avoid them?
Yeah.
And was there any repetition of this?
Well, I kept going a different way for a few days. Then they started a couple of times in the mornings.
The same thing?
Yeah, just following.
And how many weeks before the arrest did this happen?
About 3 weeks.
Now, Mr. Reister, would you please describe to the court the events that immediately preceded your arrest on the 23rd of March?
Where do you want me to start?
Well, start from when you first saw the police car.
We saw the car, yeah. Well, I heard a shout. No, I was standing watching Tiger. He was mending one of his bikes. Well, I wasn't actually mending it. He was fitting a new head gasket. Didn't need it, but he was fitting it. I heard a shout. I looked up the hill and I sees a police car turning down the estate.
Was this shout a warning shout?
Well, I don't know. I just turned around when I heard the shout. Well, Tiger just carried on, didn't take no notice, so we went on talking. And the car comes up alongside and he gets out and starts.
And who gets out?
Mr. Goss gets out the car and starts coming over to us. Well, we didn't take no notice till he comes up and asks whose bike. Well, it was Tiger's bike. We didn't take no notice. I mean, we both knew it was me he was after. I mean, I told him it was Tiger's. I mean, he must have recognised it. He knew those bikes as well as we did. I mean, I told him it was Tiger's bike. We didn't take no notice. Just stood there thinking. And he tells me to come away. He wants a word with me about the boys. Well, tell him, carry on. He says no, seeing as though I'm the leader, he wants to talk to me alone. So I walk up the road a bit.
Where was the police car at this time?
It was over the other side of the road, parked.
Yes, we were.
Well, I walked up the road a bit. And he started saying things about not standing up straight and putting my shoulders back. And find sort of a leader. What must the others be like? Find the leader, that sort of thing.
Now, what other subjects were touched on?
His daughter, Susan Goss.
What was said on the subject of his daughter?
He said he didn't want me up there. He said he knew all about it. He kept saying it. Don't you worry, I know all about it.
Now, do you know what he meant when he said he knew all about it?
Well, I didn't know, but I guessed.
And, my lord, the witness's guesses are quite irrelevant, since the defendant will be able to testify later as to what he meant by, if indeed he made this alleged remark.
Yes, I suppose that what the plaintiff believed the defendant meant is important, Miss Tate?
Oh, yes, my lord. It is indeed a crucial incident in the case.
Well, go on.
My lord? Mr. Easter, what do you think Sergeant Goss meant when he said he knew all about it?
Well, I knew she was in the club.
That she was pregnant.
Pregnant, yeah.
Sorry.